What if you could actually move out of that constant survival mode and into a life filled with calm and clarity? Well, today, that's exactly what we're going to break down. A simple but incredibly powerful four-step process to do just that, and it's all based on the work of transformational guide Andrea Rice. So let me ask you, do you ever feel trapped? Like you're just stuck in this endless cycle of worry, constantly running through all those what-if scenarios in your head? It's a feeling a lot of us know, but I promise it doesn't have to be your reality. And that, right there, is the key. This isn't about managing some kind of life sentence. Nope, this is all about reclaiming your peace and realizing that you, yes, you, have the power to change your entire state of mind. Okay, so to break this cycle, we first need to get a really good look at what it actually is. Let's shine a light on this pattern, this anxiety loop, that can so quietly start to take over everything. And this definition is so important. See, anxiety isn't just feeling stressed. It's a repeatable pattern. It's a habit of fear and avoidance that little by little starts making decisions for you. It influences who you connect with, what opportunities you pass up, and even how you see yourself in the mirror. So that brings us right to our crucial first couple of steps, building that self-awareness. It's all about recognizing the loop when it happens and starting to dig into where it even comes from in the first place. All right, let's do a quick self-check. And be really honest with yourself here. Is your mind constantly jumping to the absolute worst case scenario for pretty much any situation? What about this one? Do you find yourself saying no to invitations or backing away from opportunities because the thought of them just feels like way too much? That's avoidance, and it's a classic sign that the loop is running the show. And finally, are you always checking in with other people? Looking for them to tell you that you're okay, that you did the right thing? Now, if you answered yes to any of these, you are not broken. It's just a really clear signal that it's time to take action. But these patterns, they don't just appear out of nowhere. Understanding your why, whether it's rooted in your childhood, past relationships, or just learned behaviors, that is the solid foundation you need to build real, lasting change. Because once you have that awareness, you can take what is probably the most empowering step of all. We're talking about the ultimate mindset shift. 100%. This is the moment you realize that you are 100% responsible for your life. And hey, this is not about blame. It's the exact opposite. It's about empowerment. It means you, and only you, have the power to change your experience of the world. So this really shows the fundamental choice we have every single time a trigger pops up. Are we going to react from our ego, which is all about fear and the need to control everything? Or are we going to respond with love, which always leads to peace and clarity? This is so important, you guys. Your identity is not anxious. Anxiety is something you are experiencing. Creating that little bit of space between who you are and what you're feeling, that is absolutely essential for taking back control. So, how do we actually put this new mindset into practice? Let's break it down into a super clear, repeatable formula that really is the antidote to anxiety. Just think about any time you felt that familiar anxious spiral. It pretty much always starts with these two ingredients, right? Some external trigger happens and it's immediately met by your ego. And when that fear-based, control-freak ego takes the lead, well, the result is inevitable. The sum of that equation is always going to be anxiety. But here it is. This is the game changer. You do not have to let that equation run on autopilot anymore. You can consciously, right in the moment, choose to change the formula. So the trigger still happens. That's just life. But instead of that immediate ego reaction, you consciously insert two new, powerful ingredients: a moment of reflection, just a pause, and a deliberate choice to respond with unconditional love. And look at that. The outcome is completely transformed. That exact same trigger, when you process it through this new formula, leads to peace and freedom. Because as the source material reminds us, fear simply cannot exist in the same space as love. It's impossible. So that's the formula. Now the final piece of the puzzle is turning this insight into an instinct, and we do that by making peace a daily practice. And here are 4 simple but super powerful tools to do just that. Revisit these steps every day, take little mindful breaks just to center yourself, maybe keep a gratitude journal to focus on the good stuff, and above all, practice self-compassion. Remember, this is a journey, not a race. So let's end on this thought.
You now have the awareness to see the loop, you've got the mindset shift to take control, and you have the practical formula to choose peace over fear. So the only question left to ask is, how good are you willing to let your life get?